Morning. I figured I would do a video because I'll show you where we're at in a little bit. But I was passing this most beautiful flower, and I thought it would be good to let everybody see this beautiful flower. They've been sprouting up everywhere. I think it's some kind of new, new plant or something, but this is probably the biggest and most beautiful one I've ever seen, like right next to a sidewalk, believe it or not. I usually see them grow along the sides of the highways and shit, but this one's growing right next to a sidewalk. So I figured I'd get a picture of it and let everybody see the beautiful TowerFlowers. But we drove all through the night and got into this town, and this is really cool because I'm going to spend some time with my son. And, the world's going to hell in a handbasket, whatever. You know what? At least I got to live. At least I've spent 4 years off drugs. I'm not being a drug addict anymore. I got to get to know my son. He's with me. And he wanted to come. I gave him the option to stay with his uncle or his aunt or his nanny, and he didn't want him. He wanted to come. So, he's pretty awake, probably the only awake kid in his school. It was really hard for him to coexist, but it was a good experience because he was able to see both sides of the coin. That way he knows that I was just not bullshitting him, and I think naturally it turned him into an observer, because he would go to school and observe their end of the spectrum, and then he'd come home and observe the other end of the spectrum, and he would see that I was right. And it's not that I'm right, it's just that I'm sharing my experiences with him and trying to lead him with the light that I've gained. And I know how people are. We got to learn on our own, man. People try to tell us don't do that shit, and what do? We go and do it, and I worry about my son. I keep telling him the same shit my mother used to tell me, and I had to go out and find out for myself. But he is a good kid. When I was 14, 15 years old, I was getting laid. I was using drugs. I was taking LSD. I was running away from home. My God, my poor mother. But this kid... it's a whole nother story now. It's the technology, and that's one of the reasons why I pulled away, was because of this shit right here. My son's got his eyes on these devices from the moment he wakes up to the moment he goes to sleep, whether it's his phone, at school, video games at home. It never stops. We got 50 kids that live in our neighborhood that are all at the bus stop every morning, but all day during the day after school, none of them are outside. Why? Because they're all on their fucking devices. And we're getting very, very cloudy-minded, no doubt about it. This has been a task that we have had to really use intuition, because my mind is like, damn, my mind has been running against me my whole life, I guess I could say, giving me bad self-esteem, drug addiction, the ego, I'm learning to get back into the heart space, and this is really cool. This is where I'm finding where it's at, honestly. So, it's the heart space. And that's where I'm going to be. That's where I'm going to be from now on. I love staying in the moment. And like I said, we're not thinking we're going anywhere at this point. We're just here. We're just here now. With this beautiful tower. This TowerFlower. Isn't it beautiful? I'll see you guys near the mountains.